Any steps because we want everyone to know, not only the state of New Jersey, but specifically here in Hudson County, specifically in Union City, Weehawken, Hoboken, and Jersey City, we welcome the undocumented. We welcome everyone. Because you know why? Because they're people. These are people. When I hear the term of undocumented aliens and stuff like that, it makes me cringe that people even use those terms. No doubt about it, on people's religion, their ethnic background, and the color of their skin. And that cannot be tolerated on any level of government. That cannot be tolerated. It's just unbelievable to me that the United States of America, the leader of the free world, has a president that is going ahead with these things. When I heard the rhetoric during the campaign, it was one thing. And trust me when I tell you this. This is not about being a Republican or a Democrat. It's not at all. If it was a Democratic president doing this, I'd be standing here with the two assembly people saying the same thing. It's not about that at all. I voted for Republicans in the past. I voted for them at different elections. I'm not ashamed to say that. You vote for the better person. But you know something? There's no tolerance for this. I'd like to turn it over to Assemblyman McCurgy and then Chaparro, and then we'll open up for any questions or comments anyone may have. Thank you very much, everyone.
You know, what we're doing with this legislation is we're making a statement to mayors and police chiefs throughout the state. Their citizens, their residents come first. Public safety comes first. People, because of their documentation status, don't need to fear coming forward to ask for assistance from their city governments, from their municipal government. They don't need to live in fear because that's part of we're embracing the diversity that makes New Jersey so great. I'm so honored and privileged to be able to serve with a senator and mayor in Brian Stack and my running mate Annette Chaparro in the 33rd District, where they believe in protecting all of our residents. Ours is a nation of immigrants. I served in the Marine Corps with people who were not yet American citizens, who, regardless of the color of their skin or the country of their birth, bled the same color as anyone who was born here, as anyone who has American nationality. And as a nation of immigrant, and here in Hudson County, in Union City, which is 85% Hispanic or Latino as of the last census, in Jersey City next door, which is the home of Ellis Island, the gateway to America, and throughout New Jersey, where our immigrant communities and different diasporas have contributed in every respect to making this city better, have contributed to the economic prosperity of this state, have contributed culturally and scientifically and academically to making this state and this country better. It is our responsibility to show these mayors and these communities who are protecting their own that they need not fear federal funding cuts. Because if this president, who might not care about a silly thing like the Constitution, even though the 10th Amendment says that the federal government cannot force local jurisdictions to implement federal law, even if you ignore silly things like the Constitution and cut federal funding from these municipalities, the state of New Jersey has your back. That's what Senator Stack and we are saying today. And los inmigrantes han hecho a New Jersey la hermosa estado que es hoy día. Mientras Brian Stack sea alcalde de Union City, nosotros protegeremos a todos, a cada uno de ustedes, sin importar su lugar de origen, sus documentos, su religión o su color de piel. And that's why we're privileged to be putting in this legislation.
I'm Spanglish, so Raj just showed me up. It is such an honor to be here. We stand united for all our residents. I want to start off by saying that I agree with Boston Mayor Marty Walsh's statement when he recently said, I think decisions about how communities want to manage their public safety issues and their community issues belong to them. They should make whatever decisions are in the best interest of their community. This is the right decision for our communities. Criminals will always be handled accordingly, but undocumented does not mean criminal. Undocumented residents work hard. They are part of our community. They contribute. You see them on the bus stop. They're in your home taking care of your children. They're in our restaurants. They are everywhere. We need them. They work with us. They cry, they love, they care just like us. They are you, they are me. We stand together strong and we will not forget them. Thank you.
Just before we open it for any questions, I would just like to thank the members of the clergy that are here today with us, specifically representatives of the mosque on 47th and Cottage for being here with us today. And you know, I said this story the other day. I just want to repeat it again. Years ago, before I became the mayor of Union City, I was a community activist, and there was a big fire on Cottage Place, right on the corner where the mosque is. The first one that came to me and said, Brian, how can we help you with the 40 families that have been burned out of their homes? And I said to them, these families have no place to stay. The first thing they said to me, way back, way before 2000, they said to me, Brian, let them stay at the mosque. And those families were there for over a week in the mosque. That's what community's about. All the different religions we have, all the different nationalities that are represented in Union City and specifically in Hudson County. Here in Union City, we got all these different religious groups. Doesn't matter if you're Catholic, if you're Protestant, where you come from in the world. Whether you belong to the mosque, whether you belong to the Hasidic Jewish community on 34th Street, and everyone gets along so well. This is a message that the President of the United States can take and really carry into Washington about how well people get along together and how we should be helping people and uniting people, not dividing people.
We are going to open it up for questions. You can address either the senator or the assembly persons. Translator, you can ask questions in Spanish as well. We have Mr. Justin Mercado, who is going to be translating for us.
The correctional officers there 6 months ago signed a memorandum of agreement with immigration to implement 287G. Again, how do you see that? How does it contradict with a city that is within that county that's saying we want to be a sanctuary? And number two, Governor Christie has said that he does not favor sanctuary cities. Do you see that this bill eventually could face some challenges, perhaps a veto from the governor?
Sure. Just to answer it first on what the Sheriff's Office did, I mean, I let the county executive know and the Sheriff's Office know at the time how displeased I was with that. Union City Police will not enforce immigration law. Simple, and period on that. Secondly, on the governor, I would hope that the governor, who I've maintained a good relationship with over the years, and been to Union City many times, in fact signed the DREAM Act in Union City, would be sympathetic to urban communities and the plight that we have just on daily keeping up with our budgets and keeping up and running municipalities. I would hope that he would change his opinion on that, knowing what he knows about the communities.
But if somebody is arrested and ends up in Hudson County Jail, they potentially face deportation.
They do. That's not something I can do. I can handle because I'm not the county executive. I didn't sign that agreement, but I know myself, and I believe my assembly people both. We're not parcel with that at all.
And talk about his case, because this is a case of many undocumented immigrants in the country, but also we wanted to see how you can also support him tomorrow as he goes in for his check-in.
Anyway,
all of the information.
Sure, any way you possibly can, meet with a member of my staff and we'll try to help him. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because what we will be doing in the city of Union City, we're actually going to be having seminars in the city of Union City, and we'll also be sponsoring them in the 33rd District for the undocumented to come to with attorneys and telling them what their rights are and how we can help them. Next question or comment? Yes.
How come are you going to get those funds?
I'm sorry.
Can you elaborate how the city is going to get those funds?
How we'll get the funds?
Absolutely.
What this legislation will do is any federal funding that's cut from the federal government, and just to state that point, we don't believe they can do it under federal law. We feel very confidently in the federal court system that should this go to federal court, we'll prevail on it along with the other sanctuary cities in New Jersey and across the nation. But if it does come to that, this legislation would provide that the state would make up some of those funds, if not all of the funds. Next question or comment?
Senator Sachs.
Yes.
Steve Ramsher, Weehawken resident. Thank you very much. Assemblywoman Chaparro, Assemblyman Kurji, excuse me, thank you for your moral courage. I have a question for you about the municipal identification. How would that be implemented? What would it look like? Would those files be protected from INS, from the federal government?
We believe they would be. We don't believe they would be operable also. We'll be rolling that out on March 1st. We have an ordinance that's going in tonight in the city of Union City. Every resident from the age of 14 up would be offered an ID. I hope that answers your question.
I'm not sure. Are those files, those records, whether the document holder is undocumented federally or not, is that list then protected from federal view?
Yes, we have no reason to hold a list. Once they're given their ID, they're given their ID. We have no reason to make a list or hold a list here in the city of Union City.
Thank you.
Sure. Next question? Yes, Steve?
Hi. What committees does the bill go to? And do you have any expression of support from the leadership in the Senate and the Assembly?
I believe that we'll have support without question and leadership in both the Assembly and the Senate. In the Senate, it would go to the Budget Committee, being that there's a fiscal note on it, and also in the Assembly. I'm not sure what other committees, but I believe definitely it would start in the Budget Committee.